What's up, guys? So I did the best YouTube channels and resources when it comes to bodybuilding. I want to do the same thing, but for powerlifting. So when I was trying to get bigger for junior college football, there was a point where if I got even bigger, it would have just made me unathletic or made me slow. So that's when I started looking into getting as fast as possible and as strong as possible. But we're mainly going to focus on the stuff I learned when I was getting as strong as possible. So yeah, I just went down the big rabbit hole of powerlifting, and that's where I discovered Westside Barbell. After I discovered Westside Barbell, that's when I decided to go on my conjugate journey. You could find out what that is in a second, but yeah, like this is me doing the dynamic effort method, like using whatever bands I had and using a chair as a box squat, but which is pretty stupid and pretty dangerous. Like it could have slipped and I could have hurt myself. Luckily I didn't, but yeah, don't be like me, just get an actual box, like buy one, or maybe you could make one. But yeah, and a couple years later, I think this was like around a year later, yeah, I got like decently strong because like it was what I was focusing on. And when I was playing junior college football, I was actually the strongest pound for pound player on the team. Like they took my bench squat and not deadlift, but they took my hang clean, divided it by our weights, and my number was the highest out of everyone. So yeah, the focusing on getting stronger will get you stronger. So like I just said, Westside Barbell was the first thing I discovered when it comes to powerlifting, and the coach of Westside Barbell, which is a gym, but it's also kind of like a brand now, is Louis Simmons. I actually emailed him a couple of times. I'll share his emails in a different video. But yeah, like if you're into powerlifting, you obviously know who he is. But yeah, he's who I used, and what I'd do is I'd buy his seminars. Like he had one on football specific training, and also I got like some books on how to increase your bench press and how to increase your squat and deadlift that was written by him. But yeah, I just used that, and unfortunately he passed away. But they now Westside Barbell now has a YouTube channel where they still give out free advice and they give out podcasts, and they also have this thing called Conjugate Club where you could get online coaching by the people from Westside Barbell. So yeah, I'd check that out. The other person I used a lot was Matt Wenning. He's actually a disciple of Louis Simmons, or disciple like, or a student or former athlete of Louis Simmons that was coached by Louis Simmons. But I used him because a lot of the stuff Westside Barbell says and what Louis Simmons says is very complicated. So I'll just use him to like help me understand it, and he would dumb it down for people like me, and it was just very helpful. Like, and also his videos are just very straight and to the point. Like the stuff he's sharing, like he could have sold for a lot of money, but yeah, there's a lot of good free advice from him. So yeah, I'd definitely check him out too. Another guy is Brian Alsruhe. He's another power lifter, but he focuses more on functional strength and like conditioning based stuff, which was really good for me since like I was powerlifting and trying to get stronger, but I was also playing football, so it made more sense to for me to incorporate his training methods. And yeah, he really helped a lot. Like if you just watch his videos, they will find out that he's just like a really good dude. Like he's former military, and also he's like been through it. Like he's been through tons of injuries. He's been through like this thing called like parasites that like infected his body, and he overcame that. And yeah, it's just his journey is very inspiring, and yeah, he's another really good dude to check out. Then there's Mark Bell, another student of Louis Simmons. Like he was training at Westside Barbell for a little bit too. And a really good thing about his channel is he brings in a lot of famous people to explain stuff too, and a lot of like he brings on a lot of guests to his gym, and you just basically learn everything from the guests. And he also offers some good stuff, but yeah, like that's just really a really cool thing that he does, just bringing in a lot of people to give advice too. His channel is also really good for a lot of other things like physical therapy and nutrition. So yeah, I'd definitely check his out too. Another guy I liked a lot was Nick Best. He the reason I liked him was since I was training in quarantine and I had access to a garage gym. Like I only had access to like, bench press, dumbbells, plates, and most of the exercise he gives is like that because he also trains out of his garage. Even now I think he still trains out of his garage. He doesn't actually go to a gym. So yeah, just a lot of the exercise he would give would translate to what I had very easily. So he was just another guy to look at. And also it's just like the overall vibe of his channel was just very nice. Like he seemed like a really good dude, and he also gives a lot of good nutrition advice too. So yeah, check out Nick Best. Now, like I did for bodybuilding, I just wanted to give my overall thoughts on powerlifting too. So number one thing, same with bodybuilding, is if you're training for a sport, Like only focusing on your bench, squat, and deadlift probably won't translate very well. Like it will definitely help, 100% about that, but yeah, like you need to focus on other things if you're doing sports, not just getting your bench as high as possible, your squat as high as possible, and your deadlift as high as possible. Also, a great thing about powerlifting is that your progress is much more trackable than bodybuilding. With bodybuilding, you're just kind of going off what you see, and what you see can kind of be altered because, you know, of things like body dysmorphia or of like insecurities and stuff. But powerlifting, it's like a very set thing. Like you were able to bench 200 pounds, now you're able to bench 225. Like it's very trackable. And I think I got a bigger confidence boost off getting stronger than I did off getting bigger and more muscular. So yeah, just some interesting food for thought. Another thing to keep in mind is just powerlifters get injured a lot. Like I think I heard somewhere that out of any athlete, powerlifters get injured the most. So yeah, that doesn't mean to not powerlift. It just means, you know, make sure you're doing your soft tissue work. Like search that up if you don't know what it is. It's just basically you do high reps of band exercise, and that helps like, you know, your tendons stay together and whatnot, and get blood flow into like your injured areas. And also other injury prevention stuff like stability work or, you know, rotator cuff work. Just make sure you're doing that. And you know, just make sure you're being smart when you lift. Like don't ego lift. And yeah, like of course I had to learn that the hard way, but yeah, try and learn from my mistakes. Lastly, I just want to say putting in some extra focus into getting stronger will go a long way. If you're an athlete, like if you just do some research on how to increase your bench press and realize like, okay, you need to work out your triceps a little bit extra, and just doing some extra tricep extensions after your workouts with the team, like that'll go a long way. That's basically the kind of thing that I did, and it made me progress a lot faster. If I wasn't doing that, like I could put a video of me, you know, almost dying from a bench press. Around a year later, doing that same weight but for a warm-up set. Go, Tuli! What I'm trying to say is just putting in some extra focus will go a long way. Just a little bit will go a long way, especially if you're consistent with it. So those were just what I believe are the best resources when it comes to powerlifting. I hope you check some of them out, and I'll see you in the next video.